Now seems like a really good time to talk about releasing fear from our bodies. In my practice, I use the concepts of anatomy and physiology, but I also draw from Chinese medicine, Ayurvedic medicine, shamanic medicine, energetic medicine, and really anything that helps my clients understand and work with their bodies. And I really encourage taking what works from each system and mixing them together into exactly what fits for each individual. So I'm going to talk about anatomy and a little bit about Chinese medicine today. And I want to say that I am not an expert in Chinese medicine. So to begin with, let's talk about your kidneys. Your kidneys are two organs, and they are in the middle of your back. So they are in the middle from front to back, and in the middle, if you think of your torso, in the middle between your shoulders and your hips. The bottom of the kidneys is generally right above your belly button, and you would sink in deep to the middle of your body. So there's two of them. They are in fact kidney shaped. They are surrounded by a thick layer of fat, and they sit, again, right about here. On top of your kidneys are your adrenal glands. Now, we all know that we pump out adrenaline when we are frightened or we feel threatened, or sometimes even when we're excited. Those adrenal glands sit on top of your kidneys like little hats. And their job, again, is to release adrenaline and also cortisol, which we think of as stress hormones. And the instructions for that release of adrenaline and cortisol come from here, from your hypothalamus and your pituitary, which we're definitely going to talk about in another video, but I just wanted to give you that reminder. So let's check in with our kidneys and our adrenals. The way that I like to do it is to take the backs of my hands, if I'm sitting, and place them about the middle of my back. If that's comfortable for your shoulders, that's a nice way to do it. You can also just come above your belly button and think about sinking your intention right to the middle of your body. Or if you want to just be completely relaxed, you can let your hands rest on your lap and tune in. I want you, while you're sitting, to really make sure that your feet are connected to the floor. Flat on the floor if you can. Barefoot is good, but not necessary. So breathe with me and just think about tuning in to the kidneys, and in particular to the top of the kidney and that adrenal gland. Generally, whether you're tuning in from inside or making contact from outside, like we did with the vagus nerve, the adrenals will have a buzzy kind of feel to them. Even when we're at rest, our adrenals are working. We are surrounded at all times by stress and intensity, and right now more so. So tune in to the little hats on top of your kidneys, tune into your adrenals, and just get a sense of what you feel there. Maybe it's very buzzy, maybe it's a little bit buzzy, maybe you absolutely can't feel anything at all. And that's information too. If we are talking about a part of your body and you are thinking, don't feel it, can't feel it at all, that's actually good information. It means that you are disconnected, and that is definitely something that you can work with. Just accepting, I don't feel anything, I'm going to just stay here and wait. That's a really valuable thing to be able to do. So while we're tuning in and breathing and feeling for what's going on, you may get a feel for wanting to shake, like we talked about in the first video. That is how the nervous system purges excess electrical activation. So if you feel like you want to shake, that means you're there. That means that you are tuning into some leftover stress, leftover excess activation within your adrenal glands, and that's a good thing. Now, let's let that percolate and we'll talk about Chinese medicine. In Chinese medicine, the concept of the kidneys is not as direct as we look at it anatomically in the West. But the kidneys have energetic channels that travel from the area of the middle of your back, down your legs, and all the way to the very bottom of your foot. As a matter of fact, kidney 1, the first point on that energy channel, is right in the middle of your forefoot, right in the middle of your foot, kind of where the plantar fascia inserts. And so you can think about that energy channel, that kidney meridian, as a way to drain energy, to drain excess electrical activation or excess energy out of your kidneys and out of your adrenal glands. And I encourage my clients to think of kidney 1 as a little hole in the bottom of your foot. So it's a little drain. Whenever things are overwhelmed, too much feeling, too much sensation, too much anything, you can let that drain out down your legs and out the bottoms of your feet. And it's helpful when you're thinking of that to wiggle your toes. And now you've connected to your kidneys and your adrenals and you've connected to that channel. Think about being able to allow whatever is there to drain out. Now, as you breathe in and feel this pathway, it does not matter what the stress and what the fear is about. You are simply draining excess electricity, excess energy. So it can be the fear that is all around us with what's happening right now in this country. It can be fear that you have for what's going on in your life. It can be leftover fear from a long time ago. As we talked about in the earlier videos, the nervous system wants to protect us, and so it will tend to pile up protection and pile up protection, even though we've already lived through things. And there's a longer explanation about this on the first video. But at any rate, as you find a pathway for your body to flush this stress out, you don't have to know exactly what it is. Sometimes you'll get an aha as the drainage is happening. You'll feel a little bit more clear about what it is that's stressing you, but it's not necessary. The process of offloading that stress or that fear or whatever it is useful all by itself. And again, in the first video, I talk about the backpack of excess old stress that we carry around. This is a good exercise to flush out past stress, but it's also an incredibly good exercise to do when you are in the midst of an ongoing situation where stress keeps coming in, where news reports are worrying, where people around you are stressed. This is a really good maintenance exercise. So I hope you're all wiggling your toes and breathing into your kidneys. This is an exercise that I teach a lot in my practice, and I have never met anyone who doesn't have some kind of stress in their adrenal glands. And for myself, I've never checked in that there wasn't some layer of excess stress and activation. So I recommend this one to do regularly and to do it for short pieces. This is not one that I would recommend that you sit around for an hour trying to tune into your adrenals, and because the adrenals get tired. So dipping in, flushing, dipping in, flushing. This is a good one to do as well when you're out in the world. Let's say you're standing up and you have some public speaking to do. Most people find that a little bit scary. So while you're standing up there, probably well-dressed in really nice shoes, you can wiggle your toes and wiggle your toes and think about that channel, flushing energy out of that channel. Another thing you can add to this exercise is simply bringing your awareness, or if you like, bring your hand up here to hypothalamus and pituitary, and they should feel like they are letting go of stress. There should be less electrical activation because the signals that they've been sending to adrenals are now flushing through. So we'll return to hypothalamus and pituitary. But for the moment, you can connect up here to continue releasing from your adrenal glands. And as you do that, as you tune back into adrenals and you keep your hand here, you should feel it in your feet. You should feel more releasing happening. And breathe. We're going to work with this pathway more in the next 2 videos and connect up some more structures so that you can continue to deepen this practice. But for now, have fun with your adrenals.